Welcome to our first concert of the school year. We are excited to perform for you tonight. We are opening the concert with a bright fanfare from the brass saxophone section. After this introduction, the clarinets, horns, and trombones combine to present the main melody. This piece also gives our flutes and clarinets the chance to practice trilling. Here is our opening piece, Glorioso.
And Lucas has a special treat tonight. It's his birthday, so happy birthday.
Our next piece, Nocturnal Dances, was inspired by a poem from Stonehenge by Thomas Stokes Salmon. Written in 1823, Salmon's words help solidify the myth and mystery surrounding the ancient monument that stands to this day. Here oft, when evening sheds her twilight ray, and gilds with fainter beam departing day, with breathless gaze and cheek with terror pale, the lingering shepherd startles at the tale. How, at deep midnight by the moon's chill glance, unearthly forms prolong the viewless dance, while on each whispering breeze that murmurs by, his busied fancy hears the hollow sigh. Here is Nocturnal Dances.
You might notice a couple of non-middle school people back in the percussion section. Sorry, I lost my voice, so I'm going to speak very quietly. We have Philip Silliman, who is getting some CAS hours by helping out, and we have Miss Mary Boris, who is on our faculty, but in real life she's a band director too, so she's helping out in this group and in the other group. So thank you to both of them.
Imagine walking through the desert and coming upon a pack of vicious-looking snakes. They all make eye contact with you as they creep towards your feet. Just as you fear the worst, you hear the sound of a drum. As the snakes start moving towards you faster, with great anticipation, you hear more percussive sounds. When your heart is ready to burst, the snakes start to boogie. Our final piece was our greatest challenge with lots of fast chromatic runs. Let's see if we can outrun the snakes. And now, dancing snakes.
Imagine a colorful procession of magical and mythical characters and creatures. Imagine wizards and witches, jesters and jugglers, magicians and minstrels, gargoyles and goblins. Imagine brightly decorated wagons drawn by unicorns with stilt walkers and acrobats on unicycles. Imagine them all moving past in a stately procession, heading towards Merlin's enchanted castle in the distance. Imagine. The composer Robert Buckley had this mini-movie in mind while composing Procession of the Sorcerers. The music has a quirky medieval style to it, starting with percussion, then introducing various themes, weaving them together, and finally building majestically towards the big finish. We will open our part of the program with Procession of the Sorcerers.
This work brings together an Italian tornamental in 6/8 time with a march in minor key to invoke autumn mischief and fun. After an introduction in 3/4 time by the flutes and percussion, the horns picks up the melody and carry it to the first bouncing 6/8 section. Listen carefully to hear these changes. This was our most challenging piece with fast chromatic runs and fast style changes. We hope you will endure Hocus Pocus.
see if I can croak a little bit. The next piece that we're doing is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. How many of you were aware of that this past summer, this last July, was the 50th anniversary of mankind landing on the moon? And now I'm gonna probably embarrass myself. Who was alive in 1969? Oh, there's a few brave souls of us still alive. In preparing for this piece, we've been watching, of course, the live TV coverage of the moon landing. We've been listening to interviews with Neil Armstrong. Back then, how did he survive? How did all three of his astronauts survive the fame? They literally went on a round-the-world tour for a whole year after they came back. And after all of this, Neil Armstrong said, that's it. I can't do this fame and fortune thing. He went and was a teacher at a university until he retired. So I have found it very valuable for us to watch these things and to talk about and to discuss it. And I think it's safe to say that the students have also really enjoyed preparing this piece. Since we have the luxury of time, I wanted you to get a tiny bit of the excitement that we had. And we're going to watch the last 7 minutes of the lunar lander positioning itself over the moon before it landed. And the major stress was the original landing spot, they overshot. And so Neil Armstrong, he's kind of like looking out the side window driving this thing. He realizes if he would have let the computer take them to the place where they were going to land, it would have been in the middle of a crater with rocks the size of a car. So he took the controls in his own hand and he started flying this lunar module, and he had to get it past this crater. And you're going to watch on the right side, it's command control. The astronauts couldn't hear that. On the left side, you'll hear and see the astronauts, and they show the words so that we can follow along. And there's one communicator, MCC, and that's the one person that could communicate with the guys in the capsule. So over here on the right side, they're going 60 seconds. That meant 60 seconds of fuel. And then it's 30 seconds. And Neil hadn't landed yet. I'm sorry, every time I've watched this, I don't know how many times, and every time it just is amazing. And the world watched it on live TV. So just for fun, we're going to watch the last 7 minutes of the lunar landing.
We all stable now? That's a party flight. It's holding in there pretty good. Raj. Okay, everybody hang tight. 7.5 minutes. 7 minutes. Okay, just landing radar. Fixed the velocity. Beautiful. Raj. Black altitude. Descent to 200 feet. Descent to fuel grid.
The altitude
To fuel
going
on.
down.
No, critical. He didn't want to say critical. Raj. Descent to fuel.
Altitude 13,000.
Flight looking real good. Raj.
Velocity 9,100 feet per second.
You got an estimated, what's our T go, guys?
30 seconds, 364.
Raj, 30 seconds.
60 feet per second.
Okay, we still got landing radar, guys.
Affirm.
Okay, is it converged?
Beautiful.
Is it converged?
Yes.
Okay. Flight Fido, we're go, look real good. Raj, Fido.
Fido says we're go. Altitude 9,200 feet. Descent rate 129.
Okay, they got 64. T-go's good. Raj, T-go's go. We have position 2 on the LR. Raj, position 2, all flight controllers, 20 seconds to go for landing.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good.
Flight controllers, gonna go for landing. Retro. Go. Vital. Go. Guidance. Go. Control. Go. Telcom. Go. GNC. Go. Econ. Go. Surgeon. Go. Capcom, we're go for landing.
Altitude 42 up.
Same time, we're go, flight. Okay, we're go. Flight flatter right on, real good. Roger. How's our margin looking, Bob? It looks okay. Okay, 4.5. Roger. Altitude up, maybe.
Altitude 60.
Roger.
1,400 feet, still looking very good.
How you doing, Control? We look good here, fine. All right, how about you, Telcom? Go. Guidance, you happy? Go. Vital. Go. Attitude home. Okay, at hold. Think we better be quiet. Raj. Okay, the only call outs from now on will be fuel. P66. Okay, Bob, I'll be standing by for your call out shortly. Low level? Low level. Stand by for 60. Roger. 60. 60 seconds. Stand by for 30. 30. 30 seconds.
And there it is. For some reason, on this playback, we're not hearing the astronauts. Every time it comes over on the left side, we should be hearing Buzz Aldrin.
We've had shutdown.
But the video is not working right now.
Okay, everybody, T1. Stand by for T1.
They had less than 30 seconds of fuel when they finally touched down on the ground. And everybody in Houston control was like, stop, breathe. It was totally exciting. I think we're going to stop because we can't hear what the astronauts are saying there. Anyway, I hope that has set the stage for our final piece. Who's reading this one?
On September 12, 1962, President John F. Kennedy gave a speech where he challenged Americans to put a man on the moon. 7 years later, on July 20th, 1969, this dream became reality when Neil Armstrong stepped on the surface of the moon and said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The piece we're going to play for you today, entitled One Giant Leap, is in honor of this 50th anniversary of the moon landing. 50 years ago, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins set off on the Apollo 11 mission, which changed man's vision of outer space forever. The composer of One Giant Leap, Eric Morales, added historical audio clips to add drama to his piece. You will first hear President Kennedy telling the country we choose to go to the moon, followed by the actual countdown for the launch of Apollo 11, with Neil Armstrong saying power clear after they left the launch pad. The music then sounds like the power of the amazing Saturn V rockets, which pushed the space capsule into orbit. You will then hear the music change as we achieve weightlessness and approach the moon. Neil Armstrong will tell us when we have finally touched the lunar surface, which he called Tranquility Base, and then we'll hear all hearts beating fast as he finally takes his first step on the moon and says, "This is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." As we were preparing this piece, we watched several YouTube videos of the launch, the dramatic moon landing, and interviews with Neil Armstrong talking about how he dealt with the fame of being the first man ever on the moon. We hope you can follow along with us on this musical journey to the moon.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
15 seconds, guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Power clear. The Armstrong recording the road pitch program
Dial please, okay, go.
Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Your support is truly appreciated, and it really makes a difference in your children's lives. Thank you very much, Ms. Seekirchner. Well done to the middle school band and the high school band. When we look for success in our band program, we're interested in not only the students performing well, and also the number of students who choose to be in middle school band or who choose to be in high school band. At AIS, we don't really count how many kids are in the band. We just look at how close Miss Seekirchner is to falling off the stage. So when the performances are well done, and when she's 6 inches from a concussion, we know we've had an excellent performance. Thank you very much.
Technical assistance, especially on this concert, we would not have survived. So thank you to both of you guys. And thank you for all of the people who brought wonderful things for the buffet. May I please announce? Oh, and thank you to Ahu and all of our fine arts boosters for setting that all up. May I now say the buffet